All right, hi everybody, and welcome to the third installment of Time Management 101. This is going to specifically be looking at Trello, which is an organizational app, I guess, and website that I have found this year specifically to be very helpful. So if I go to Trello.com, I'm already logged in. But if not, you can just sign up. It's pretty easy. Um, so this is my Trello. I'll show you a little bit of it, but then we're going to go to these school examples to kind of show you those kinds of things. But if I go up here, you can look at a couple different stuff. The reason that I have these cool backgrounds is because I have Trello Gold because I shared it with so many people that use it. So if you want cool backgrounds, you can do that. If not, it's still great. So, let's see. To start, I will show you my boards. So this is my school board. Right now, there's only two things left because we're at the end of the semester here, but I have mine set up by class, and I have a different card for each week of the semester. My other board I use for a couple different things. So I have my to-do list that I have. Some have dates, some don't. Kind of crazy and like to keep track of all of the media that I would like to see, and things for one of my organizations. I also have one for assistance that we use at the Wellness Resource Center. At least Mariah and I use it. And what's kind of cool about that is if you have your pictures up here or something, you can add it to assign it to different people. So I'll go into that right here. So here's our Wellness Resource Center board. I'm not in charge of it, but I have been invited to use it. So I think Morgan's in charge here, but so she has PH 2304, Queer Lunch, Wellness Cruise. And then over here we have some that I have made for vagina monologues, interview committee, those kinds of things. You can see your members here, so we have a couple different people on them. But it's neat, right? Because if you're part of an organization like an e-board, this is going to be a really great way for you all to kind of stay in touch. I have one for my organization as well. And I'll just show you real quick. So over here, if you hit show menu, which I kind of like to keep open, although you can easily close it, it shows you who is a member. Sometimes they have their pictures. And then there's different activities. So you can see I'm pretty active on it here, but here's another time when someone else commented. But it just kind of shows you, if you haven't been there in a while, what people have been doing within your organization. So I can show you the same over here. All of the members and what Mariah and I have been up to. So I'm going to start by explaining what a board and a card and a list and all of those things are. So if I wanted to make a board, I could do that by scrolling all the way down to the bottom here. Also, by the way, that says don't keep this board open. And I super didn't want to do that because I really like keeping mine open. So don't fret like I just did and thought that I wasn't going to be able to get it back. It's pretty easy to do. But if you do want to change any of your settings about, like, that's where you would do your picture, edit profile, password, those kinds of things, you would go up and like click your name up there. But if I want that to come back, I just click boards, and I can click always keep this menu open, which is something that I do because I like to switch between boards pretty easily. So if I do want to create the new board, I hit create. We can call this time management like the other things. I don't know why I'm having a hard time typing, but so organization, I could put it in Wellness Resource Center if I wanted to. Right now the board is just private. This kind of explains to you your different options here, but I'm going to keep it on private because it's just for us. So I'll hit create. It came up under my recent boards here. I have a couple that are starred. The way that you would do that is just click it right there and it can move up and down. If you want to make it all fancy, right, you can change your background. We'll make this one orange. those kinds of things. So this is a board, time management, right? Then we can add a list. So we can say to do. We can say, I don't know what else that we would want to put on here, but we can just say things and exercise or something like that, right? So you can just keep making lists forever if you want. But then what you would do under that list is you would want to add a card. So for us, the thing that we're going to do is make a PowerPoint, right? What else for time management? We had to make an agenda, figure out the screencast thing, right? So what we would do then on each card, if we choose, you can leave it at this, or you can go in here. You can edit the description if you want. This could be helpful if you have those different members who want to see stuff. But I could say we're going to make it in Google Drive, right? So that would be cool. So that shows you that that's there. If I want to make an agenda, let's say I've already done that, right? So I could add an attachment. I could go, it's synced with my Google Drive, which is another reason why I love Trello so much. I could go into Heart WRC, time management agenda, right? And it would be uploaded. If I wanted to, I could just open it in Google Drive, but I could also download it as an attachment, which is really cool. I could also add members if I wanted to, if that was something that I had access to, which no one else is part of this because I just made it. But it would let you click members if you wanted, and Janie's not there. But that's how you would do it. You can also create labels. So you could just choose a color if you know what they mean, but I could create a new label, and we could make it shows up as blue, so we could just call it like for Janie to do, right? So this is showing that Janie would need to make the agenda, if that's how you wanted to do it. If you have people shared on here, like I said, you could do their little picture. That would show up here. So figure out screencast. What else can I do here? I could add a due date. I could say that I need to do that by Thursday. That would show up here. I could create a checklist on here, which is also something I really love. So I could say explore options. Is it, or like price, like is it free? And as I do those things, I can check them off. I can also hide the completed options, or I could delete it if I really wanted to. And then it's like everything in your checklist is complete, which makes you feel really great, right? So we can get out of that card, and it'll show you 2 out of 2. So if I wanted to, though, move this make an agenda to somewhere else, I could go down to move. I could move it to things and move it over there. It got moved over there. If I instead wanted to copy it, because it was something that needed to be in a couple different places, I could do that, right? So then if we get out of here, make a PowerPoint is here under to do, but it's also under exercise. I can also move my lists around, so I could copy the list, move the list, move all the cards in this list, archive them. And the archiving is like deleting, except that it doesn't actually delete. So in case you messed up, you can go back and find them, which is really great. But let's say we're going to move this list. We're going to move it over here to school example 1, right? Which is where I want to take you next. So that's right here, right? We move this whole list over here. And let's say we're like, I didn't really want to do that, and I don't even need this list anyways. We can just archive it, and then we don't have to look at it anymore. So you guys kind of saw how I set up my school board here, and I had my 3 classes, and I literally did this at the beginning of the semester, so there were 15 different cards on each list. And then I had all my major assignments over here, so I have my research paper labeled with it and a due date, which is cool. And if I did want to use these due dates right a lot, you can enable a calendar, and then it kind of shows you here when things are due. I tend not to use that as much, only because I use my Google Calendar so crazily. But we'll just go back to here. and I'll kind of show you the two different ways that I was thinking that you could use this for school. Like I said, you could do it how I kind of set it up. So I have the week here, I have a to-do list in all of these, and as I would do them, I would check them off. And then usually, once I did all those things, I would just archive it because I don't need to see it anymore, right? Those kinds of great things. And I could have my assignments here. I could say my research paper, add it. I could go in here, I could give it a label, create a new label, make it green, and say research, right? So then it's labeled as research. Like I said, we could give it that due date. We could say it's due on Friday. Actually, we'll make it due like today, right? Because then you can see that it'll tell you that it's recently past due. So it does kind of alert you. And if you do want to super know about things that are happening, you can subscribe to the list, and then it'll send you emails as you super need to remember to do things. Another way that you could use Trello for school, we're going to go in here. I was thinking that you could technically just do it week by week. And have all your major assignments. So if you would go under week by week, you could just have your classes and have a checklist for each class. It's really kind of up to you how you prefer to organize your thoughts and all the things that you need to do. But if you did this and you did this, but you didn't do anything down there, you could just see all of the things that you have to do for the week. And then once you actually would do all of them, you could check them all off or not, and you could just archive it, and then that would be gone. Another thing that you can do is you can make certain things into cards. So if you have this checklist here, you say like, go to the gym, grocery store, you should be able to turn things into a card. And I think that I almost did it in the last thing here. Yeah, and the way that you would do that then is hit go to the gym or whatever item and hit convert to card. And then so when we go back here, we can see it's go to the gym as its own card. So if it's something that you thought was going to be small and maybe turned into its own thing, so go to the gym and we need to have our own checklist or something for it. It could be like buy sneakers, water bottles, right? Like something like that. It's pretty easy though. You can also mention members, like if you want them to know that you're talking about them in a specific card, you can do it that way. There's a lot of different things, and you can always just kind of Google stuff. So here, it's fun, right? Go ahead, Grammarly, you can get away. I wasn't sure how to do that, so I quickly paused and went and just searched adding checklists and cards. And Trello has a really wonderful help site. So if you do ever find yourself stuck, which happens to people who even use this all the time, you can always use them as a resource. The last thing that I want to show you about Trello is, let's say that I archived it and I didn't mean to do that. I can hit send to board and it'll be right back where we left it, which is really great because sometimes we make mistakes. But yeah, hopefully, as you can see over here, if you do want to do this week by week thing, you can always just have your major assignments with labels and due dates, and then that way you just don't have to have as many cards. Such as like this one, but it's really up to you how you prefer to do anything. So this is just another example of an organizational method that I've found really helpful, especially when you need to collaborate with multiple people. And remember, you can always subscribe so that you can get emails about what you need to do and when. If you have any more questions, like always, you can just send us an email and we'll do our best to answer them. Janie's going to talk about Microsoft OneNote in our next session.